1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 17. For Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of God. You see, Paul is putting aside his education and his worldly wisdom to preach the simple gospel of Christ, because the power of God through the gospel does not need the ornaments of philosophy or worldly wisdom. Because in verse 25, it says, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. You see, it's interesting, isn't it, that Christ didn't choose the wisest philosophers or the mightiest warlords to follow him. The selection by God is designed to silence the wisdom of men. He chooses the foolish things to put to shame the wise, and he chooses the weak things to put to shame the things deemed by men to be mighty. And that's because in verse 29, that no flesh should glory in his presence. So let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verses 3 through 7. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Jesus Christ the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us.